Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sunday morning. Happy July 4th. And we are studying a new parasha, Parashat Matot and Parashat Mas'eh. We have this week a double header. So let's jump right in our parasha. We're going to keep today's class short. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Today's class has been sponsored anonymously for the Refuah Shlema of all of Am Yisrael. We should hear Yeshuot and Besarot Tovot for everybody. If anybody would like to sponsor a class, please email us info@ejsny.org. And like we mentioned, today is July 4th, and it's a day that we should actually take a minute in prayer. Thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for this beautiful country that we have, this gift called America that He has given us, if you're listening in America at least. We've never been so free to be able to practice and worship and live as Jews without having to worry about persecution. You know, when we hear of one case of anti-Semitism, we're making parades and we're protesting. Baruch Hashem, it hasn't always been this easy to be a Jew. Unfortunately, we see that history repeats itself. The easier it is to be Jewish, sometimes the less we want to be Jewish. That's been an unfortunate reality, but that's not the case for us. Baruch Hashem, it's easy for us to be Jewish. We are happy to be Jewish. We're practicing our Judaism. We come here every day. We study the Torah. So God bless all of us. And God bless the United States of America. Okay, fine. So let's jump right in. Parashat Matot is a parasha that begins with the idea of a neder, of a vow. A person can make a vow and can literally make everything in the world that's mutar asur with one word. Look at the power of words, Rabotai. Yesterday, this man was allowed to drink water. He says one sentence. This is now like pork. A person makes a vow, a neder, boom! His reality changes forever. Words, we have to realize, Rabotai, are not a joke. And by the way, if you want to undo it, you can't just say, "Oh, just kidding." A person has to go to a bedin of 3 rabbis. He has to have harata. He has to undo it. It's not just words. Words are, unfortunately, today words are very cheap. But that's not the Torah's version of words. Words are very powerful. You know, we don't subscribe to the Arabic phrase heki balash. Heki balash means it's just idle chatter. It's what I just said. Words. What do you mean you just said words? You know how important words are? Words are very important. No such thing as just words. You can't just say something. A person makes a neder. Our parasha comes and teaches us right in the beginning. Don't belittle your words. Don't treat them cheaply. They are not cheap. A person goes to a lady and he says to her 3 words. He says to her 4 words. Hare at mekudeshet li. Behold, you are sanctified unto me. He hands her a ring, he hands her a coin. Will you marry me, basically? The Hebrew version of it. Hareat mekudeshet li. And she says yes. Guess what? Forever, they are married. She can no longer marry anybody else. He is tied to her, he must support her, he must provide for her forever and ever and ever. I was just kidding. No, just kidding. If you're just kidding, you need to give a get. You have to go through a procedure now to undo that. But I just said, what I do? I just said. Again, today it's very hard for us to appreciate this concept. Today, unfortunately, even our handshakes are nothing. Even our signatures, we find ways out of them. In the previous generation, my father told me, in business, what sign? To sign with another Jew? Never. You said it was considered binding forever. You didn't even second guess it. You didn't doubt it for a second. The guy gave you his word, it was done. I'm going to send you the money, that was good enough. It's as if he got the bank to co-sign. That's how much they appreciated their words. Their words weren't cheap. They didn't just use them flippantly. They didn't throw them around all over. They appreciated every single word. There was this case a few years ago in the community where a boy and a girl were sitting at a party and he pulls out a bamba. And as a joke, he said to the girl, "Hey, I like you. Hareat mekudeshet li. Will you marry me?" She says, "Oh, it's so cute. Yes, of course." And she takes the bamba and she eats it. And years later, this boy started studying. He realized, wait, 1 second, maybe what I did over there wasn't so small. He spoke to his rabbi. It wasn't a joke at all. They had to go to Rav Elyashiv, to one of the biggest poskim of the generation. They had to analyze the price of a bamba. How much is it worth? One bamba. Is it worth a piruta? Is it worth the smallest currency? Is it not? What about taxes? And what about all the other factors involved? Shipping and packaging. And so our words, really, it's what make us unique. It's what makes us people, human. You know, the philosophers of the world, they divide the entire world into 3 levels, 3 tiers. The pyramid. There's on the lowest level what we call the domem, inanimate objects, right? All the things that are plastic and metals. Then there's a level above that. That's tzomeyah. That's vegetation, sprouting, the trees, wood, all these things, plants, flowers. That's tzomeyah. So that's a higher level than just the domem, than just the inanimate. They actually move, they grow. And then there's a little bit higher than that. What's higher than the flowers? One step above the flowers, the vegetation, is high. High means alive, an animal, birds. And each one feeds off the one below it. The animals eat the plants feed from the soil. And so this is the ecosystem, this is the world that we live in. And that's where it ends on the pyramid of superiority for the worlds. But the Kuzari and others, they add a 4th level. It doesn't end by high. There's a level above high. Adam. Adam is man. Man is not the same as animals. Man is not the same as the rest of the animal kingdom. The same way there's a difference between plants and animals, there's equally a difference between animals and man. You can't put us in the same level, in the same tier. And therefore, by the way, we are allowed to eat the animals. We use them for what we need. We could kill them if we need leather shoes, if we want to eat. That's allowed. Just like an animal could feed off of the grapes, we feed off of the animals. And what is that? Why are we higher than animals? What puts us on a higher tier? You may look at it and say, well, Rabbi, that doesn't make sense. We are all the same after all. We're literally equal. Why should I be superior to my dog? We both have feelings. We both have emotions. We both can have children. We both can laugh and cry and be happy and be sad. We both move, we both grow, we both are born, we die. On paper we may look the same, but there's one very, very, very big difference. And that is the neshama that we have. When man was created, the pasuk says, "Vayipach be'apav ruach hayim." God gave us that extra neshama that a dog or a cat or any animal does not have. And the Onkelush translates that advantage of ruach hayim as ruach ben mallela, as the ability to speak. Only people can speak. Animals cannot speak. And if, God forbid, we abuse that power of speech, if we use our words in a cheap way, if we use our words and we don't pay attention to them, or we don't give them any credence, then we are lowering our level to animal. We are removing any advantage that we have over the animal kingdom. We are no better than the animals. Matter of fact, when Hashem created the world, we all know this, God did not create the world with his hands. He doesn't have hands, but the pasuk doesn't say in a metaphorical way that he created with his hands. How does the pasuk in Genesis describe the creation? The creation was with God's speech. Vayomer Elokim, and God said, "Let there be light." And God said, now even the saying he didn't do. God didn't say. He doesn't have a mouth to say. He thought. But the pasuk chooses to use the faculty of speech. And that is why we have to be very careful with our words. Hashem created the world with words. We can use our words in a very powerful way. We can use them to build, we can use them to destroy. We have to be very careful to use them only in a positive way. Not to use our words to, God forbid, make a neder for the wrong. Not to use our words to hurt people's feelings. Not to use our words to curse. Not to use our words to abuse verbally people around us. You know, words can create, literally. when a magician does his act, right before he does his magic, he says two words, Abracadabra. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but Abracadabra is actually Aramaic. Abracadabra. Abra, I will create. Bara, kedibra. With the dibur, with my speech, I'm going to create now by using my words. That's what a magician is trying to sketch us, and that he's thinking. I'm going to create now with my words. That's what he's saying. Amazing. I don't know if the magician knows that, by the way. I don't think he knows that he's saying, I'm creating with my words. Today it just became the hocus pocus. But he's saying abracadabra. That's the original source of it. Rabbi Scheinberg, his daughter is visiting my mother this past week. Her name is Rebbetzin Altutsky. She had many stories from her father. And something that she always said her father had was known to have the power of blessings. Whoever would come to him for whatever blessing, he would give it, it would come true. And she said, we asked him, Abba, what's the secret? How do you have the secret? Whatever you bless, whoever you bless, it comes true. How? And her father said, because in his life, he never abused the power of his speech. He never abused his words. Every word is thought out. Every word is calculated. What I'm about to say, is it about to hurt anybody's feelings? What I'm about to say, is it lashon hara? What I'm about to say, is it gossip? Is it negative or is it positive? The story is told, and we cannot say the story enough, about Thomas Edison, who we have lights today because of him. He perfected the light bulb. He came home from school one day with a letter. He gives it to his mother. The mother opens it up. She starts crying. She reads the letter. Dear Mrs. Edison, your son is a genius. The school is too small for him. Doesn't have good enough teachers to train him. Please teach him yourself. Don't send him back to school. She started crying. Thomas, look at you. Look at what you did. You're amazing. Years later, his mother passed away. Thomas Edison eventually became the greatest inventor of the century. And when his mother died, he was searching through the attic, looking through some of the goods, the papers, her memories. And he found this letter from the principal. And he opened it up just to read it again. But after he opened it up and he read what was written, he started crying. And he read the real letter that his mother never read. The real letter said, Dear Mrs. Edison, your son is mentally deficient. We cannot let him attend our school anymore. Please don't bring him back. He's wasting our time. Signed, the principal. Thomas Edison realized the genius of his mother. And he writes in his diary many years later, Thomas A. Edison was a mentally deficient child whose mother turned him into the genius of the century. Look how powerful the words of a mother. Look how powerful the words of a parent. Here was a boy who was mentally deficient. This was his reality. But she used her words to create a new reality. Abracadabra. I'm going to create a new reality for my son with my words. He's maybe not bright. He's not intelligent. I'm going to make him intelligent by using my words in a beautiful way. Of course, we know the famous Baal Shem Tov. The Pasuk says, by Noah, when he builds the ark and it had all the dimensions, the 50 by 300 by 30. And the Pasuk says that there was a source of light on the top window. Sohar ta'aseh lateva. Sohar means light. Like this book that we study, the Zohar. Zohar HaKadosh. What Zohar means? Zohar is light. Sohar ta'aseh lateva. You should make for the ark a source of light. But the Baal Shem Tov says a little bit deeper. Teva, besides the ark. We know every Pasuk could be understood on a simple level, but then on a deeper level. Remez. This pasuk is hinting to something not just with Noach's ark. Every pasuk in the Torah we need to know, it applies to me and you today in 2021, July 4th. What does Noach's ark have to do with me today in July 4th? What, maybe take a boat, go for a trip? But what does the pasuk mean? How does that apply to me? Says the Baal Shem Tov, Teva not only means the boat, Teva means the word. Rashi Tevot, the first letter of each word. Teba is a word. Sohar ta'aseh lateba. Make for each word a source of light. Let every light shine. Every word that we say, to think and calculate, is this word going to bring life and light into somebody's life? If yes, then say it. And if not, don't say it. Don't say it if it's not going to bring light into somebody's life. This was Rabbi Scheinberg. He had that careful. He was very careful with his words. And because of that, he never abused it. He had the koach haberachot. He could bless anybody he wanted. And it came true. They knew it. Everybody knew it. The story is told of Jackie Beaton, powerful speaker in the community. She gets a phone call one day from Rabbi Zachariah Wallerstein saying, listen, Jackie, I'm having this huge event, many people coming to listen. I would love if you could come speak. She said, listen, it's all Ashkenazim, and you're a great speaker, Rabbi. I think you should go alone, get somebody else there. You're going to listen to me. What am I going to offer? Jackie, you're amazing, please. Okay. I forced myself to go. I prepared some thoughts. I get up there, Rabbi Zachariah Wallerstein, he speaks first. He's amazing. Applauding, standing ovation. I get up to speak. She says half the room empties out. I felt a little bit hurt. I said, this is what I came for. I knew it. This is what it's going to be. They came to hear him. But anyways, I prepared. I came. Let me give him my all. She went up there. She delivered her thought, her speech. She gave her talk. She went home. It's hard. I don't know if you ever spoke for 45 minutes to an hour. It takes away a lot. She sat down on her couch. She's just, drinking her tea, unwinding. All of a sudden, her phone rings. Hello? Yeah, hi, is this Jackie Beaton? Yes, hi, who's this? And all of a sudden, on the other end of the line, a lady starts crying. She says, she's crying. She can't even get the words out. Jackie, I need your help. Okay, is this an emergency? You could call 911. What's going on? No, Jackie, listen to me, please. It's about my daughter. And she starts telling about all her daughter and how she's so disrespectful and how she's going off the path, off the derech, and she's left all the values of Torah and Judaism. She has all these horrible addictions. And she says, Jackie, tonight I was coming to listen to the classes, Rabbi Wallerstein, yourself, and I told my daughter, I said, listen, I'm going to hear some speeches. Would you come with me? And my daughter, with her disrespect, with her chutzpah, she said, why would I waste an hour of my life with you? Get out of here. I didn't know what to say. I said to my daughter, I said, listen, I'll pay you. How about I pay you? You come for me for an hour. I'll pay you $100 to come to the class. My daughter, a little teenager, $100 is a lot of money. Okay, $100 for an hour? It's worth it. She came with me. She sat at the class, uninterested, just playing with her hair, chewing her gum disrespectfully. After the class, half the room empties out. You get up to speak. I held my daughter's hand. I said, wait, there's another speaker. She looked at me. She said, Mom, we had a deal. 1 hour is 1 hour. I'm out of here. I opened my purse. I said, another $100. Please sit. $100? No problem. You want to throw away your money? I'll take it all day. No problem. She sits down again. And then you spoke. Jackie, when you finished speaking, my daughter was speechless. I looked at her. I said, what do you think? And you know what my daughter said? She's not bad. Yeah, she's not bad. Jackie, she gave you a she's not bad. You know what that means? Nobody gets a she's not bad. Everybody's horrible. Everyone's boring. You are not bad. You know what that means? You're amazing. She loved you. She connected to you. I said, what? She's not bad? Do you want to speak to her? You want to meet her? I can set up a meeting. Please, Jackie, I'll pay you whatever you want. My daughter is willing to meet you. She said, okay, she'll have a meeting. She'll come to your house. Please give me a time, whenever, wherever. Jackie said, I can't say no. You're putting this in my court. How am I going to say no to a child? A daughter of Hashem. Of course. Thursday, 8 o'clock. Jackie, thank you so much. Hashem should bless you. And the mother's crying and she hangs up the phone. Well, she hangs up the phone. Jackie's sitting there on her couch, and she starts crying. Hashem, what am I going to tell this girl? You know, you're giving me a Bat Yisrael, a girl who's so disconnected. I'm not capable. I'm not qualified to speak to her. I don't know the tricks of Kiruv. I don't have the words, the one-liners. I don't know them. What am I going to say? And then Jackie closed her eyes. And she said, I made a deal with Hashem. I said, Hashem, I'm going to make you a deal. This week, I'm going to watch my words. This week, I'm going to watch what I say. And in return, you will put the right words in my mouth Thursday night. And she said that week was the hardest week of her life. Her husband was extra annoying. Her kids were so disrespectful. Friends wanted to go out for lunch, and she knew if she's going to go, she's going to speak gossip. It just always happens. And she said, it was the hardest week, but I fought and I held myself and I contained myself and I kept it on kosher speech, kosher talk. And finally, Thursday night came. The doorbell rings. Make sure I look dressed well. I have to look presentable. I open the door and I see this girl standing there, so lost, all blinged out. The hair and the jewelry and the makeup and the nail polish, all the things, the clothing. And I smiled and I said, hi, how are you? And I give her this big hug. And she's just standing there, chewing her gum. And then she looks down at her watch and she says, you know, we have 60 minutes and you just wasted one of them. And I'm like, oh my God, we have a winner. Okay, let's get straight to work then. I brought her inside and we started speaking. And all of a sudden, an hour must have passed because her watch beeps. Beep, 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 beep. And she looks down at her watch and she looks at me. She says, okay, you win. Grab a piece of paper. I said, well, I don't know what that means. I don't speak your language. What does that mean? Paper. Okay, I'm getting a paper. What does that mean? I win. I don't know what that means. And she says, start writing. I, her name, promise that no matter what troubles are going on in my life, I will never use God as an escape. I will never blame all my problems on my religion. She signed it. Jackie signed it. She thanked her. She went home. 10 minutes later, Jackie gets a phone call from the mother in tears. Jackie, you're a saint. You're an angel. What did you do? What did you say? She's like, what are you talking about? My daughter came home. She showed me the piece of paper. She put it up on the fridge. For the first time in years, she referred to my husband as daddy, to her father as daddy. What did you say, Jackie? What did you do? You're a miracle worker. Jackie said, I'm not a miracle worker. I could just tell you one thing. I made a deal with Hashem in the beginning of this week. I kept my end, and I guess so did Hashem. Rabotai, this is the power, the koach hadibur. We live in a world that's very scary. Every show, every song, the amount of curses, the amount of lies. It's a generation that completely could care less about what their words are. That's not a Jew. A Jew understands and appreciates every word. Sohar ta'aseh lateva. Every word should be illuminating, should be giving light, should be giving direction, hope, courage for somebody in their life. That is our words. We have to be very careful not to abuse them. If I could just share with you one more story. Story is told of Rav Issa Zalman Meltzer. Rav Issa Zalman Meltzer was coming to yeshiva, And when he was studying, he was at the time very poor. He didn't know where to go. He didn't know which yeshiva to go to. And they were deciding between two yeshivas, the Mir and Volozhin. Which one's better? And at the end, he decided to go to one of them because over there, in Volozhin, the benches were a little bit softer. So if he had to sleep on the bench because he didn't have anywhere to sleep, he would be able to have maybe a little bit of a better night's rest. And he got to the yeshiva, of course, everyone was much wealthier than him. Everyone had all these respectable clothing. His hat was all bent. His suit was all wrinkled. His shirt, his pants were ripped. He felt so out of place, so humiliated. He walked in for half a day and he couldn't bear the embarrassment. And right away, the first Seder ended, the first half of the day was over, he made a commitment, he is going back home. He couldn't, the shame was too much to be there in this room with all of these respectable students. And he's there dressed like a shmata, like a rag. He was so humiliated, he said, I'm not staying here. He didn't even unpack his luggage. The second the shiur was over, he went back to where he put his luggage in the coat room. He took it and he started walking back to the train station. And on his way to the train station, he's waiting for the train. And all of a sudden a boy passes by him, Rav Zalman Reuven Bengus. And he passes by this little boy, Issa Zalman Meltzer. He says to him, you're that new kid, you just came today? He said, yeah, that's me. He said, yeah, the rabbi, the Netziv, he was giving a shiur today and you gave a great answer. He was so impressed. He never got impressed from a new student. But when you gave your answer, he was so impressed. When you left the classroom, he said to all of us, it seems that this boy has much promise. It seems that there's a future in this child. It seems that one day he's going to be a gadol, a giant, Be'Yisrael, in the Jewish people. Just thought that you would like to know. Anyways, have a good day. See you tomorrow. He didn't even notice the luggage. He didn't realize he was leaving. And when Rav Isser Zalman Meltzer heard those words, what? That's what the Netziv thinks about me? He sees in me promise. He sees in me a future. He turned around, took his luggage back to the yeshiva. It doesn't matter that I'm poor. It doesn't matter that my clothing are ripped, that they're wrinkled, that my hat is not a hat. If this is what it is, my shoes, it's fine. And he ended up becoming one of the greatest leaders of the generation. His students, these names, tell me which name is not known. Rav Aaron Cutler, BMG. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. Rav Shach. Rav Shlomo Goren, from the Kotel, blowing the shofar, the famous picture. Rav Amital, Rav Henkin, Rav Fisher, the Tzitz Eliezer, Rav Waldenberg. Look at this one rabbi, all of his Talmidim that spread Torah throughout the world. And all from a comment of a boy that saw another boy. Maybe if it was today, he would be hurt. Why do the rabbis say that about him? Why not about me? I'm older, I should get the compliments. Why is the rabbi not complimenting me? He didn't say that. He heard a nice word about a kid. He went over, he let him know. He told him. He said, the rabbi was impressed with you. Hazaku Baruch, have a good day. Do we realize how much koach we have? He changed this kid's life. He changed the destiny of the Jewish people. Where would Lakewood be today? Where would Kol Torah be today? Where would we be without all the teshuvot of the Tzitz Eliezer? All Rav Shach, where would we be? All from a comment of one boy. I have no doubt that he had no idea what he was doing that day. He didn't know that the child was leaving. He didn't know that he was ready to go back home. He didn't know that. But he knew one thing. He knew how powerful a word is. I heard a compliment, let me tell it to them. Unfortunately, we usually wait till somebody dies till we tell them their praises. But we cannot eulogize the dead. We must praise the living. Don't eulogize the dead. Praise the living. If there's something nice about somebody that you know, it could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be a friend. Don't wait for them to die and then say at the funeral, they were, you know what? I'm telling you one thing about them. They were really a good friend. They always called you on your birthday. Don't wait for them to die to tell them. They can't hear it. They're dead. Call them now. Say, I want you to know something. I want you to know I'm very impressed that you know people's birthdays. I want you to know, I noticed that you're always, the first to shell out for lunch when we go out. You're very giving with your money. I want you to know, I noticed that you're always giving people lifts. You're very caring. I want you to know you're a very good mother. I want you to know you're a great husband. I want you to know, I notice how you pray. You come to shul. I love that. I notice. Tell them. We never know what it could do to a person's day, to their life. It could give them so much energy, so much chizuk. They could walk away better. Wow, feeling like $1,000,000. This is what people think of me. We all need compliments, every one of us. Everyone. No one here doesn't need I promise you, nobody here doesn't need a compliment. Everybody appreciates it. So let's give it. Let's tell the people around us. We have to remember, Rabotai, we're entering the month of Av. It's a month of mourning for the Beit HaMikdash. And of course, we know the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of our failure to use our words properly. Because we spoke Lashon Hara. We spoke negatively about people. And we must work. Let us try, maybe a challenge for all of us. This week. You ready? This week. Write it down in your notes. Make yourself a reminder. Compliment one person once a day. One person once a day. Just today, when you're done with this class, hang up and sit for 1 minute. Who can I call right now and make them feel good? Who can I make feel good? That should be our goal today, this week, every day of our lives. Make somebody else feel good. We always want people to make us feel good, and we should. But who can I make feel good today? Who can I compliment? Who can I call? It can be, by the way, in the family. Hesed begins in the family, by the way. Words can be seeds, or they can be bullets. The choice is ours. We should be zocheh to always use our words to never hurt anybody. And again, it's much easier now in the class, but later somebody's going to upset us, somebody's going to embarrass us, and we're going to want to say it. Remember, it's not worth it. Sohar ta'aseh la teva, abracadabra. We can create realities with our words for all those around us. We should be zocheh by working on our speech. We're going to bring Mashiach b'mirabi amenu amen. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.